Hello, friends. The 1349th day of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. The situation in Pokrovsk continues to deteriorate. Over the weekend, Russian forces continued their advance there, according to maps from the Ukrainian military telegram channel Deep State. They advanced south and southwest of the city, as well as toward Grishny. Furthermore, the gray zone within Pokrovsk itself has expanded. Northwest of the city, the boundaries of the gray zone form a bottleneck less than 3 kilometers wide, according to the Deep State map. Looking at the enemy's map, the situation appears even worse. Furthermore, the cleared area contains no significant roads. The nearest one, to Pavlograd, has already been cut off by Russian forces. Fierce fighting is ongoing north of both cities, near Krasny Liman and Rodinsky, where Russian forces are attempting to attack toward the intersection with the road to Grishny and toward Mianorad, writes Ukrainian military expert Mashevitz. Overall, it appears that the main struggle is currently being waged for the flanks around the Pokrovsk-Mianorad agglomeration, where the Ukrainian armed forces are sending their main reinforcements to loosen the tightening pincers. It's also for the industrial zone, which controls logistics to Pokrovsk. Deep State also reports that the situation in Pokrovsk is deteriorating as Russian forces continue to gradually enter the city, and the gray zone is expanding. The Russians are primarily advancing along the Zvirovi-Shevchenko-Novopavlivka section and along the railway from Kotliny. Ukrainian military officials claim that the Russians control 60% of Pokrovsk, with a presence in the remaining districts. This city, along with neighboring Mianorad, is already lost. Everything gray on Deep State's map of Pokrovsk should be painted red. The Russians control approximately 60% of the city. There are also enemies in Rodinsky and Mianorad. The situation is bad. A high-ranking Ukrainian armed forces officer from the Pokrovsk sector describes the situation. According to the military, Russian troops are setting the pace and taking the initiative in the battle for the city, seeking to penetrate the Ukrainian forces' rear. The military also says that logistics in Mianorad are almost completely under enemy fire control, and the fall of one city will inevitably entail the loss of the other. If Pokrovsk falls, Mianorad is gone. If Mianorad falls, Pokrovsk is gone. I can't separate these two cities. Considering that the Russians are completely at ease in the north of Pokrovsk and northeast of Mianorad, they can cover the remaining distance between them with FPV drones. They are doing everything to ensure that the city, if not physically encircled, is surrounded in a way that will prevent any escape, says a soldier from the 38th Marine Brigade. According to one officer, the situation isn't being covered in the media because everyone only wants good news. We've been constantly saying we need reinforcements, we need drones, they're cutting our logistics, they're invading us. Everyone only likes good news. A month ago, I started talking about the need to regroup. This will lead to the need to redeploy units, and consequently, give up some territory, and no one wants to do that, says a Ukrainian officer. Another high-ranking officer warns of the threat of encirclement of between 1,000 and 1,500 people unless an urgent regrouping of forces is carried out. Against this backdrop, calls continue to be heard to withdraw troops from Pokrovsk and Mianorad. If someone doesn't sign an order to withdraw troops from Pokrovsk and Mianorad soon, we could find ourselves in a situation where we not only lose a significant number of highly motivated paratroopers and Marines, but also hundreds of millions worth of property. I won't even mention it. It's already lost, and there's no chance of evacuating it. We could find ourselves in a situation where there's no one to patch the hole in the front, and the fortifications we've dug up in our rear will quickly fall to the enemy, wrote former Deputy Minister of Defense of Ukraine Donetsk. According to him, the General Staff's reports are increasingly filled with lies. In fact, we've already practically lost Pokrovsk, which means holding Mianorad is pointless. Logistics will be left with only unreasonable risks and fields. And I'm not giving away any big secrets. the Russians can see this perfectly well from their drones in real time. This needs to be documented, and those who refuse to leave without orders need to be rescued, Dynaga wrote. Commander-in-Chief Syrskyi denied the encirclement of Pokrovsk and Myrhorod the day before yesterday. He stated that forces from the main intelligence directorate and other special forces had been deployed to the city to stabilize the situation. It's worth noting that reports of a main intelligence directorate landing in Pokrovsk began circulating as early as Friday evening. Media outlets published a video of a helicopter landing special forces. Similar videos were also published by Russian media. Western media and some Ukrainian telegram channels began reporting a counteroffensive by Ukrainian armed forces near Pokrovsk. Russia also reported the landing, but claimed it had been completely destroyed, publishing a video of drone strikes targeting the troops. Ukrainian sources claim the landing force is fighting in the industrial zone northwest of Pokrovsk. However, it remains unclear how this operation has affected the situation for Ukrainian armed forces in Pokrovsk. Judging by the deep state map, the situation hasn't improved since the landing of the paratroopers, which took place around the beginning of last week. The landing of special forces from a helicopter near Pokrovsk is an incompetent tactical decision, according to journalist Pukovsk, who currently serves in the National Guard. In modern warfare, landing 2 squads of soldiers in the open, in a kill zone, in full view of enemy drones, is an incompetent tactical decision. Firstly, in modern warfare, breaching a kill zone is only possible by maneuvering hidden from drone surveillance. The enemy notices any demonstrative actions, and then everything, including guided bombs, hits the soldiers in their shelters. Secondly, 2 squads of special forces cannot have a significant impact on the situation in a city that is being fought over by several brigades and regiments. And the main problem is ensuring logistics and maneuverability for those already in the city. Thirdly, a precedent is being set once again, where poor tactical actions, instead of being objectively assessed and reviewed, are met with a ton of bragging rights from bloggers, mistakes are covered up with PR, and therefore teams continue to be sent on high-profile heroic missions where losses are never disclosed, nor are the actual results announced. Otherwise, the assessments of such actions would be completely different, writes Pukovsk.
Friends, I want to develop and strive for higher quality content, but my 2009 computer does not allow me to do this. If you have the opportunity to help me buy a new computer and make my dream come true, I will be very grateful to you. You will find the link in the description under the video and in the pinned comment. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.